The Forgotten Wonder, what happened to the Temple of Artemis? Imagine a temple so grand, so awe-inspiring, that ancient travelers swore it rivaled the beauty of the heavens. A place where art, architecture, and mythology collided to create one of the greatest wonders the world had ever seen. But today, hardly anyone talks about it. No majestic ruins to photograph, no massive statues left standing, just fragments, scattered and silent. This is the story of the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, a marvel lost to fire, flood, and time, yet still echoing through history. Who built it? Why was it considered so divine? And why did it vanish while others endured? Let's uncover the forgotten legacy of one of the ancient world's greatest achievements, and why its story still matters. The birthplace of a wonder. The Temple of Artemis wasn't just a building, it was a sacred monument to Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and childbirth. Located in the ancient city of Ephesus, in what is now modern-day Turkey, this temple became a pilgrimage site, a cultural hub, and a symbol of divine power. Construction began around 550 BCE, funded by the wealthy king Croesus of Lydia. Designed by the Greek architect Chersiphron and his son Metagenes. The temple was built entirely of marble and adorned with intricate sculptures by some of the greatest artists of the time. It wasn't just a temple, it was an architectural revolution. It spanned over 115 meters in length, had more than 120 columns, each nearly 18 meters high, and was the first temple of its size to be built almost entirely out of marble. By any standard, it was colossal. Engineering a masterpiece. So how did ancient engineers pull off something so massive and intricate over 2,500 years ago? Recent archaeological studies suggest that the builders used advanced techniques, such as sand ramps and cranes powered by human or animal labor. Columns were transported using circular wooden frames, allowing them to roll over long distances. Marble was quarried locally and floated downriver on barges. One brilliant feature? The temple was built on marshy soil. While that might sound like a bad idea, some historians believe this was intentional. The marsh may have helped absorb the shock of earthquakes, an ancient example of seismic resilience. The floor was laid on a bed of charcoal, covered with a layer of animal skin, an early form of shock absorption. These innovations show the depth of scientific knowledge the architects possessed, not just in beauty, but in structural resilience. Destruction, rebirth, and destruction again. The Temple of Artemis was so admired that it was rebuilt multiple times. The first version was destroyed in a flood, but the most infamous destruction came in 356 BCE, when a man named Herostratus set it on fire. Why? To become famous, ironically, his name is remembered, despite laws forbidding anyone from recording it. A newer, grander version rose from the ashes, even more beautiful than before. Visitors like Alexander the Great admired its splendor. Roman historians like Pliny the Elder called it the most wonderful building ever constructed. But in the centuries that followed, the temple fell again, this time to neglect, looting, and natural decay. By the time Christianity spread across the region, the temple was seen as a symbol of paganism and was dismantled piece by piece. Its stones were used to build roads, churches, and forts. Digging up the past. For centuries, the temple's exact location remained a mystery. It wasn't until the late 19th century that British archaeologist John Turtlewood discovered the foundations of the temple buried beneath layers of earth near the ancient city of Ephesus. What remains today? Just a few column fragments, scattered ruins, and one reconstructed column assembled from various original pieces. It stands alone in a field, a lonely testament to a once unimaginable monument. But the temple's legacy lives on through ancient texts, sculptures housed in museums, and digital reconstructions that offer a glimpse into its former glory. Myths, misconceptions, and the power of memory. One of the biggest misconceptions is that the Temple of Artemis was simply a religious site. In truth, it served many roles. It was a marketplace, a cultural center, a treasury, and a haven for those seeking refuge. Another myth is that the temple was completely obliterated, but that's not true either. Many of its pieces were repurposed across the Mediterranean, embedded into newer structures. Its story wasn't erased, it was absorbed into the layers of history. There's also confusion between Artemis and Diana, the Roman equivalent. While they share traits, Artemis was more closely tied to the wild and to female empowerment in Greek culture. While Diana's image became more domesticated in Roman myth. The temple's dedication to Artemis emphasized a powerful feminine divine, something quite rare for the era. Why it still matters today. The Temple of Artemis may be gone, but it reminds us of what humanity can achieve when art, science, and belief come together. Its story shows how knowledge can be lost, and found again. How wonders aren't just made of stone, but of the ideas and dreams they represent. And how memory, even fractured, is powerful enough to keep a forgotten wonder alive. As we build our own modern wonders, from space stations to superstructures, the Temple of Artemis stands as a timeless lesson. Greatness is possible, but fragile. Creation is hard, preservation is harder. Fun facts. Did you know that the temple was 4 times larger than the Parthenon in Athens? Or that archaeologists found more than 100 sculpted columns during the excavations, each one uniquely decorated? Conclusion. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus wasn't just a building, it was a statement of beauty, of innovation, of the human desire to connect with something greater than ourselves. It may no longer stand tall, but its story still towers over time. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, give this video a like, subscribe to NeuralNet Academy, and hit that bell so you never miss another forgotten story. Got a wonder you want us to explore next? Drop it in the comments, we love hearing from curious minds like yours. Until next time, keep wondering.